What's going on, YouTube? This is your host, Mr. Micro Mike, and today I am back, damn it, for the round table. I am excited to be back in the United States to talk Detroit Lions football because I have not had my dose of it, and I need it time now. But before we get into this great show, without further ado, I'm going to get into these intros. So, as an infant, the next man was given a toy hammer as a gift. Within seconds, he gave us Stonehenge. What up, Doe J-Mo?
What's good? What's good? I just want to let everybody know I'm still recovering from the flu, but I am good enough to talk on the show. If you guys hear me talking, then I randomly that means I'm coughing up phlegm. If I randomly go silent, other than that, man, let's enjoy the show, man.
Really, the truth is the flu is recovering from J-Mo. So we got to give the flu a little bit of rest here.
Right. I mean, I built Stonehenge with a hammer as a baby. Of course, he's recovering from me. What you mean? Talk about? Shoot, I worked on the pyramids when I was a teenager.
Shoot, that's way too easy for you, man. Next is the man who gambling is addicted to because he always wins. What up, Doe, Luke G?
Hey man, what's going on, Brady? Man, Brady talking sports. Happy you back. Happy to be back on talking to myself. Still got some unresolved business to do this weekend, but it'll be resolved and finished in.
Oh, absolutely, man. I can't tell you how happy I am to be back here talking football. But before I get into the show, of course, I got to do roll call. What up, Doe Adam Buchart? What up, Doe Eric Gross? What up, Doe Don19? The General View, Keurig, Brian Farrell, Joe Burns, Troy Thedu, James Holyfield, Detroit Rage, Don19, Jordan A. Thank you guys for joining the show, and this is the first show for me that is complete off-season mode, and I am happy as hell to be talking about that now because the season sucked. But let's not talk about the suck. Let's talk about what we are looking forward to, and of course, that is the NFL draft. Now, we know the draft spot now is we are number 3. But it is very important for us to understand the individuals ahead of us. And of course, that is the Bengals and the Washington Redskins. We know what the Bengals are going to do at 1. We all believe it's Joe Burrows. Why is it important to understand what the Redskins are going to do? Luke G, what do you think they do? Yes. Good answer. J-Mo.
Oh wait, my bad. I thought it was not muted. I don't know how I did that, but no, I think they're gonna take offensive tackle. I still stand by that belief. I know that there's this conversation of they're gonna take Chase Young, but if Trent Williams leaves, which they should let him leave because he ain't played a full season in I don't know how long. I think they're gonna protect their investment in Dwayne Haskins. And if it's one thing I know about Ron Rivera, when he got Cam Newton, he invested a lot into that offensive line. And then he took around and made another investment to getting him receivers, tight ends, and running backs. So I suspect that he will follow that same trend to protect Dwayne Haskins and get him an offensive line. Now, I'm not buying the Chase Young to Redskins just yet.
J-Mo, what do you think the Redskins are going to do? Do you think they go Chase Young, go offensive line?
No, I agree with what Luke said because Dwayne Haskins, he had an up and down season, and they're trying to rebuild. Why? I'm gonna just be honest. Why the hell would you get Chase Young when you don't have an offensive line yet?
Offensive line is just extremely important. It is, but I think the hiring of Ron Rivera may switch that a little bit. I think they may go Chase Young just because with his hiring. Before his hiring, I was like, okay, they're going to go offensive line, and but I believe Ron Rivera get that staple. He goes Chase Young.
But let me ask you this: maybe I'm batshit crazy. Excuse the French.
No, I really don't think so. I'm almost.
But here's my thing:
they're not taking Chase Young.
If you have,
I want him, but they're not gonna take him.
And I look at it like this: you got a running back who is pretty good when healthy, and I'm just trying to look at it from the standpoint of how do you run the ball? You run it with an offensive line. How do you keep the quarterback upright with an offensive line? Just because Ron Rivera got there, if he is who you think he is, he's going to get another defender in the second round, maybe the third round, and get that production. If Chase Young was the Julius Peppers type of caliber, I can see him then pulling the trigger on it. I mean, hell, I would want to pull the trigger on it, but he's not a Julius Pepper type player. And for me, I just look at it and I say it makes more sense to keep the quarterback upright than it would be to take Chase Young, because then what you would end up having is all your money wrapped up on the defensive line. You already picked up what's the big dude from Alabama? I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. Payne and Allen. Now you add Chase Young. It's just too much that you got going on over there. And I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to protect his quarterback and his investment.
Hey, look, I really understand both. Left tackle, to me, is one of the most important positions in all of the NFL to protect your franchise quarterback. And they just drafted Haskins last year. I think it makes perfect sense. But to me, like me and JMO agree here that Chase Young is a freaking blue chip, scary defensive end that can get after the quarterback. And I think it's really, really important to understand that if they believe you have a guy like that on the board who is like an Ndamukong Suh type of player, you take him. So I think we really don't know what's going to take place now. I think in my opinion, Chase Young's not going to be at 3 anyways. But with that said, to me, the number 3 pick is the most important pick in this draft because people are going to want a quarterback. And guess what? Tua, in my opinion, is going to be available at 3. Should the Lions trade, stay, or draft up, draft down, or trade? What say you, Luke?
I honestly think they should. The ideal situation would be a trade. But if nobody is offering a house, you stay and take your picks. Because for me, if you, let's say for example you trade out. If you trade out and the pick you wanted was, say, Isaiah Simmons and he's gone, okay. Now let's say you trade out and you fall from 3 to 5. So Isaiah Simmons is now gone at 3 to the Dolphins. Then let's say at 4 the Giants come up, and let's say you're thinking, oh, well, I'm gonna just get Derek Brown. Well, the Giants need defensive help, so they take Derek Brown. Okay, at 5, now you gotta ask yourself, well, okay, I need defensive help. Where do I need it at the most? And it's defensive back and linebacker. So to me, now the question becomes, what's the point of you trading if you didn't get a king's ransom? You just basically moved back to say you moved back and you picked up an extra pick. No, they gave up more than that to move one spot from second to first. I suspect that we should be able to get just as close to that as possible. Anything outside of that, I'm not moving. I'm taking the play that I think is going to help my franchise win. Not change it, but help it.
Now, I'm going to explain why this number 3 pick is so valuable, and I feel like we hit the jackpot here. Everyone seems to know Burrow is going to go number 1, Chase Young 2, or, it could be mixed up. But in my opinion, those players are not going to be available at 3. Then you have the Miami Dolphins, the San Diego Chargers, who want franchise guys. Guess what? Miami's at 5. San Diego is at 6. They're going to want to get Tua for sure. In my opinion, I think Tua will be good to go when it comes to being a top 5 draft pick. You notice his stock is really starting to sail as of late. And I'm telling you right now, if you're the Lions at 3 and you feel that, you go back 1 or 2 spots and say if you're with the Miami Dolphins and you can pick up their second first-round pick just to go back 2 spots, you got to pull that damn trigger. Because you're going to have someone there at 5. You're going to have Derek Brown or Isaiah Simmons there who you want to get. They're both, one of those guys going to be there. And you could pick up San Diego, Los Angeles Chargers. Yeah, I screw that up all the time. Sorry about the LA. First off, if you ain't subscribed to LA Original, do so. He's a buddy of mine. He is the LA Chargers. He's talking football all the time. And some good stuff there. But yeah, if you can get an extra first round pick like that, or pick up another second round just to go back 2 spots or 1 spot, why the hell wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you do it? JMO, you there? No?
Yes,
Luke.
yes.
Okay, JMO, what do you think?
I mean, I'll just stand pat and pick my pick because I'm not. I mean, I'm going off of more than what I want and more of what I actually think is going to happen. I have not seen Bob Quinn trade back in the first round or the second round, and
Facts.
I don't think that's going to change. I think he's going to pick the player that he wants, and the player, whoever the player he wants, is going to be there. Now, I'm not really sold on Chase Young being picked by Washington, but it's very, very possible he is picked by Washington. He picked by Washington, okay, so it's plenty of great players. I just think, you know, if you want to accumulate, assets, cool. But at the end of the day, I just don't like trading when you got a top 3 pick. Why are you trading back? Get a great player and call it a day. But it's a lot of other strategies to building a football team than being so simple like that. But I don't think they're gonna trade back. I think they're gonna pick whoever they want to pick, and Lions fans will be pissed about it as usual.
I don't think a whole lot of people would be upset about it. If a deal
Oh, trust
is
me, they
not
gonna
there
pick
to be
somebody.
made,
They gonna
you
pick
can't
somebody we
just.
don't know.
Yeah, well, there's always going to be unhappy people, no matter who you get. I mean, you can pick any player, and there's going to be someone unhappy about it. But when it comes to, like, if they took the player, I'm not going to be upset about it. But I feel if you have the ability to get another second round pick, from Miami, or another individual out there, you can get a high first round or a later first round pick. You got to do it, in my opinion. You got to, man. If you could do that, that would be sick. That would
I, I,
absolutely be sick.
I
But
feel
look, what
concerned
if?
though.
Hold on. What if we trade back and then Miami takes Isaiah Simmons? Then what?
That
Well,
was that
if
was my
if
point.
if Miami
Like
traded
that's
up to the third pick to take Isaiah Simmons, I would be extremely, extremely shocked because they
I
yeah,
are.
but
wouldn't though.
it
I
doesn't
would be
matter
shocked. They need a quarterback.
Yeah, listen, they do
but
need
they
a
can still
quarterback.
take
I
their
hear you,
quarterback in this.
but
They can
they
still
got
take their
another
quarterback.
first. They got
That's what
another
I'm saying.
first,
Like we
and
can't be convinced that they not gonna take our player.
I would be convinced that if you feel like Derek Brown or Isaiah Simmons is a guy that you want, and you're at 3, you're at 4, you get one of those 2 players, and you're going to pick up an extra second round pick, and you feel one of those 2 players they're both blue chippers. It doesn't matter who you get. You're getting a hell of a good player, but then you're getting another chance to get another Tavai.
No, I
now,
disagree with that. It doesn't matter
Mo,
who you get.
They say you sound a little bit low.
Hey man, whatever. Uh, I definitely think it matters who you pick. Um, Colin Farrell or whatever his name is, he's pretty good, but is he Jamal Adams or Derwin James? No, it matters who you pick.
I just look at it like this: Miami has another first. Why do they need to panic at that point to go into the quarterback right there, and they can pick up a person who can not only play safety, but he can play linebacker. He can, he's an army Swiss knife on defense, and to me, I just feel like I'm not convinced that if they come up, they're taking another quarterback. Jake Fromm is going to be there. Eason is going to come out. It's a lot of quarterbacks coming out that they don't have a problem sitting there and taking later, because guess what? One, it's not going to cost you as much as to take the quarterback this early.
How many quarterbacks go in the top 10 every year?
I
In
mean,
recent years, not many.
A lot of quarterbacks go early. It's just the way it always goes. Very, very early. Even getting a Blaine
how many
Gabbert
quarterbacks
years
were in the
back.
top 10 last year? 3.
Quarterbacks
No, well, actually
always
2.
are the one position that teams will fight over if they don't got one. And that is the one position where there's going to be a guy available who, if he passes his medical, people are going to fight over it. And that guy is Tua. I don't even want to say his last name. I just think it's very possible you're going to get a bidding war and we're sitting at number 3. And if you have a chance to get a good, decent amount back and still get the player you want, you pull the trigger.
I just feel like for me, Miami
that
doesn't.
last part. Go ahead.
I just feel like Miami doesn't have a need to pull the trigger, because let's be honest. Okay, if the Lions going to take to it? No. Are the Giants taking to it? I'm gonna get them at 5 anyway. So what am I going to trade with you for to get a quarterback? Who else trying to move up?
Because there's other teams like the Chargers who are going to move up and try to
the Chargers
are
pick
not
what?
about to move all the way up to
Who moved from 3 to 2 to pick Mitchell Trubisky?
No, but the Chargers are they're not about to move up that far to take 2.
Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers would move up to take a quarterback, in my opinion. Phillip Rivers is probably not going to be back with your team.
What pick do they have? No. Do you know how much they would have to give? They would probably have to give us like 2 first-round picks.
Pick
to get 2. They would have to pick. You said they're at 6.
Even at 6, moving up 3 spots, they can sit fast and still get their quarterback.
Right. Because it's not just 2. Justin Herbert too.
Right. It's Justin Herbert, Jake Fromm, East. It's a lot of quarterbacks. And they're not all going to big schools neither. So my thing is this. If the Chargers moved up from 6 to 3, they would literally destroy their whole draft because we taking all their picks. Now, if they're going to do that, I'm like, shoot, take it. But when you fall from 3 to 6, okay, you better make sure that whoever you take is on the field. I don't care who it is. They need to be on the field.
Teams get desperate. We see it every single year. The Chicago Bears went from 3 to 2 to pick up Mitchell Trubisky. We've seen this happen a lot. And I have a great feeling it's going to happen this year. And the Lions in the most ideal spot for that situation. And
I can see that.
We've seen what the Redskins done with RG3. We've seen it many, many times when a franchise wants to get their quarterback to help them sell their tickets, to have the future hope for their team. They will go up to get the quarterback. Whether it's a smart move or not, that is what happens in the NFL.
Yeah, but you keep bringing up Mitch Trubisky. Give me another example in the last 3 years of a team who had a top 7 pick moving up to take a quarterback. It hasn't happened. They wait till their pick and they take their quarterback. Chicago been stupid for years. They dumb. But other than that, when Baker and Lamar and them guys came out, teams waited, got their quarterback. Last year, teams waited and got their quarterback. They didn't move up. Like, usually if you got like a top 7 pick, you're not going to move up to take your quarterback because it's very likely he's going to fall to you. And then when you're looking at the situation now, Miami need a quarterback. The Chargers need a quarterback. That's about it. And there's 3 top quarterbacks. Well, so you got Tua, you got Herbert. Burrow's gone. Chase Young's going to take a spot. Simmons and maybe Brown are going to take a spot. And then you're going to have 2 quarterbacks. So if you at pick 6, you're going to get your quarterback.
Well, let's put it this way. I have a feeling there's going to be a trading war with the. We'll say it right now. I bet that there will be a trading war for Tua, and teams will trade up. You guys say no, I say yes. We'll find out in a couple of months.
Yeah, I just say no at 3. I think if once it gets closer towards 9 to 10.
Just like I said, the Lions would be a top 5 draft pick.
Okay, yeah, Mike, good point there. You know, it's hard to argue with that, but I'm just saying, I just don't see why the team who has 2 first-round picks at 5 needs to trade up to get a quarterback, or why the Chargers, who pick at 6, would need to mortgage their draft to pick up the quarterback.
L.A. Original, the guy who covers his team a lot. Chargers aren't a typical team that pick at 6. Very good teams that had bad luck. They could give up some to get their future quarterback.
Okay. But I think if that happens, I think that happens. That's happening with the Giants, not us, because they know we're not taking a quarterback.
Well, it's going to be the bidding war between the Chargers, I think the Miami Dolphins. Who knows? There's always a quarterback needy team that comes out of nowhere that you kind of get flipped on. I do see trades happening in the top 10, and I do see a team getting desperate. That's just the way it works, just the way teams do. They get desperate for a player, for a specific player, and that's just what they do. I mean, it's not something I would do. It is not something that, especially if you're in a win now mode, to go trade picks away to get one specific player. If it's a lot, it's not something that I would do like the Dallas Cowboys did, what the Dallas Cowboys got. No, that's not something that I would do, but it is definitely something that franchises do. Now, a lot of question that's been going around as of late is should the Lions draft a quarterback in the first round with that third pick? Can we dispel this right now? Are we drafting a quarterback at number 3?
I mean,
No.
I'll let y'all take it because like I'm not got time for this.
No, it's not happening. There's no reason for it to happen. It does not make sense. They can put out every story that they want to try to scare somebody up for a trade. Ain't nobody stupid enough to think you finna draft no quarterback. You know why? Because who are you going to take? Who are you going to take? You take a quarterback at 3 with a you know what? I don't even want to talk about it. The entire organization right now is in limbo. You're not taking a quarterback on a win now mandate. It's just not happening.
Matt Patricia is not going to risk. Like Matt Patricia got 6 games next year. There is no way he's going to risk taking a young quarterback and going 0-6. He's got to put himself in the best position to win, and that's with the quarterback that we have now. Now, if he was in a different kind of situation and wasn't on the hot seat, that would be different. But I mean, if they wanted a QB, cool. But considering the situation we are in now, if you're taking a quarterback, you're literally saying I'm about to go 3-13. So Matt Patricia will get fired if they took a quarterback.
Now, Seth Browner said the New York Jets traded up from 6 to 3 with the Colts to draft Sam Darnold. J-Mo, what did they give up? What did they give up? What was the draft capital they gave up for that trade? And the Sam Darnold trade, I'm just curious. I can't remember what they gave up for that deal. But if you do know, let me know.
When it comes to the Lions drafting a quarterback at 3, again, this is a win now mode. It's not going to happen. They are mandated to win now. If you take a quarterback at 3, you're not winning now. That's basically starting, unless you had some sort of, crazy defense like the New York Jets did when they took Sanchez in a different situation. But this situation's much different. We have a lot of needs. Win now mode, you don't take a rookie quarterback when you got a Matthew Stafford there. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. If it is a franchise starting anew and it's a completely different general manager, a new one, and they got leeway, yeah, of course. Like Jim Schwartz did in 2009. But that's not the case here. This is a win now mode. I think if they took a quarterback, I think it'd be more indication of Matthew Stafford's spine is extremely a lot worse than what people assume. And I think it'd have to be a crazy situation like that. What say you, Luke?
I just don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
It's hard for me to see it. And I put it like this. If you hungry and you get to choose between some succulent rotisserie chicken or mud, I'm pretty sure you're going to choose the chicken. And to me, this team is at a desperate point where they're hungry. They're not finna pick mud knowing that there's a chance that they may not even be here to coach this person. So, to me,
when after Stafford got hurt, you didn't win another game.
Right. Like, I just don't see why would you do this? And he's not going. My belief is if you take a player in the first round, he needs to be on the field. And the quarterback is not going to be on the field for us. So why are you going to take him?
Now, Seth Brown said they got 3 second-round picks to move up 3 spots. That's a damn good deal. 3 second-round picks. Good God. That's a lot of capital there. And what if they did? Okay, so that and this is an idea that's been going around the media is it would give them another excuse for another year too if they took a quarterback. Well, if they took a quarterback and they did that for an excuse, that means Martha Ford and her daughter was full of shit and completely lied. That means everything they said was a complete and utter lie. And I don't know if the fan base would be too excited about that. But you never know, man. You never know. I just say it's highly unlikely, extremely unlikely in the most unlikeliest scenarios. I think the Lions will take, hopefully, a defensive player. Now, I've seen some mock drafts, and I swear I was upset when I seen this, that they had a Lions taking a right tackle with that 3rd pick. How would you feel if they took a right tackle with that 3rd pick, J-Mo?
I feel like how I felt when I had the flu.
Wasn't the right tackle from Alabama?
I would feel sick, and now if he's Quentin Nelson, you don't got no problem about me. But I don't think there's another Quentin Nelson probably for another 5 years. Let's be honest, that dude's special. If he ain't Quentin Nelson, I'm gonna be ready to throw up. Straight up.
But I believe that was CBS Sports who reported that, and I believe that player was the right tackle from Alabama. I think it was. If you draft a right tackle,
I'm about to say, considering Tua kept getting hurt, I definitely don't want him.
I'm just saying, but if you draft a right tackle, 3rd overall, I'm gonna have mixed emotions because we are a split fan base right now, and when that happens, I'm just gonna turn to that other half of the fan base and be like, yes, y'all get what y'all want, so we can see how this work out. Because every time this fan base speaks on any of these Detroit teams, we get the opposite of what they think they're gonna get. Oh, get rid of Jim Leland. Okay. Get rid of Larry Brown. Okay. Every time they say this, we get the opposite result. So I'm not talking about anything pertaining to the staff, but I just don't see a right tackle at 3rd. But would it be something that I can see possibly happening? Yes. Yes, it is.
God. I do not want to see a right tackle taken at 3. I do not want to see that happen. And I just think that's foolhardy at this point. For a right tackle at 3, when you got other rounds you could utilize. We got high 2nd-round picks. We got a high 2nd-round pick, a high 3rd-round pick. I think if you're looking offensive line, ideally, I think the 2nd and 3rd round would be a good spot. I think you get a pretty good guard in there, or if you're, because you got to think the 2nd-round pick is almost like a 1st-round pick. It's fairly high, and the 3rd is almost like a late 2nd. So, and always good talent gets pushed out of the 1st round because there's so much skilled players in this draft, a lot of good wide receivers, some quarterbacks, and that's going to push some of the big boys out when it comes to linemen. And I think you can get a really good one in the 2nd round there, or if they want to go 3rd round. And so I think to me that would be the most ideal thing to look for when it comes to that. And another rumor that's going around is Tom Brady not going to be a Patriot, and that he could become a Detroit Lion. Luke, I'm not trying to be your father, but I want you to explain to the folks of why this seems unlikely.
First of all, everybody seems to act like Tom Brady's this magic pill. He's not. Let's just put this in perspective. We have 3 mobile quarterbacks who are still getting crushed. You go trade Stafford and bring a guy who can't move behind this offensive line. Okay. Okay. So where's the logic in bringing a 40-year-old guy here to do what? Be a standing statue? Who is he going to improve? What is he going to improve? What is he supposed to do when he get here? It makes zero sense. It should not happen. It will not happen. It better not happen. It just does not make sense. And if you go out and you add a quarterback like him, you better go out and spend big money on the offensive line. But wait, that's a redundant statement. Because guess what? If you spend big money on an offensive line, why didn't you do that when you had a suitable quarterback here? This is not going to work. This trade rumors and all the stuff that's coming out is pure malarkey. And if it did happen, again, the split side of the fan base, I'm just going to be, yes, y'all get what y'all want. It does not make sense to me. It's ridiculous.
What say you, J-Mo?
Man, I don't got nothing to say. I'm just not gonna entertain this BS no more. We're not getting Tom Brady. End of.
Yeah, it was just something we have to talk about because that's what the mainstream media is talking about. Tom Brady this, Tom Brady that.
Look, the mainstream media tried to get us to get Tom Brady 3 years ago. I still remember that article Carlos Menor put out. I used to trade for Tom Brady. So you want Tom Brady? Look, let's put this in perspective. Andrew Luck retired, right? Right?
Yes.
Did you know Stafford's been sacked 50 more times than Andrew Luck since Andrew Luck's been in the league? And he's retired.
Stafford's spine knows that very well.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why. Look, they took 10 years from him to break down finals. But you want to bring Tom Brady to Saxonville, Detroit, and I mean that the opposite way. If we bring Tom Brady here, he'll last 3 weeks, and he'll be out for the season. Straight up. Like, the moment he plays the Bears, it's a wrap. Plays the Vikings, it's a wrap. Like, it's over. Like, Tom Brady gonna end up like Steve Young. Like, it would be. I don't want to see that man go out like that. Straight up.
Here is the Okay, go ahead, finish it up.
And then once he does get hurt, now we left with nothing. And Stafford probably gonna be on the Patriots balling and smiling and all 10-0 in a division with weak teams with no Aaron Rodgers. Like, come on, man. Like, I feel like that would probably make the Lions lose over half their fan base.
Yeah. I'm going to dispel this just using facts here. There's 32 million reasons of why this is not going to occur. And that's the cap hit is if they got rid of Matthew Stafford. 32 million to get rid of Matthew Stafford. Think about this. To get rid of him is 32 million. To sign Tom Brady would be probably 30 million. So just getting one quarterback, it would cost the cap hit around 62 million for 1 year. Is there any quarterback in their right mind? Is there any general manager in their right mind that'd be willing to do that to a team? Bob Quinn there's a lot of things you could say about Bob Quinn, but he's fiscally responsible. That would be the worst damn fiscally responsible move to do of all time of ever. 62 million to switch a quarterback out. That seems extreme. The only way I could see that happening is if Matthew Stafford retires, because then I think the cap hit doesn't count. But Matthew Stafford's not retiring, and that's just not going to occur. And Tom Brady, look, he's a great quarterback. We all know that. He's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. If he goes to a team in which he probably will do, he's probably going to go to a team, guess what, that's close to competing. And we are a 3-12-1 team. We're not close to competing at this point. Yes, I do feel like our offense is better than what the New England Patriots had this year, but their defense was ranked number 1. So you got to understand that our defense was ranked number 35, and there's only 32 teams. So you got a lot of work to do here. Obviously, the connections, though, when it comes to the Patriots. I get that, understand it. There's a lot of connections here, but you always got to look at the money. Show me the money, and that's where all transitions are. And 62 million for one individual is just extremely amount, and you're not going to win in the NFL if you're going through extreme cap hell like this, because guess what, you got 53 players, and that would be extremely financially unsound and stupid, ridiculously dumb. And
Yeah.
yeah, that would guarantee that Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia would not be coming through here.
Well, listen, I'll like I said, I've made it very clear that I would definitely mention the general manager's name, but at the end of the day, people need to understand if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Nobody's going to sit up there and mortgage their entire future team in a moment by getting rid of large chunks of change. I don't care if we come in with $80 million in cap space. You don't take that kind of cap hit for nothing. And if you try to like spread it out over 2 years, it's just dumb because you're now handicapping yourself for the next year. So to me, I just feel like this is my thing. Tom Brady to me, I'm a huge fan of Tom Brady, let me be clear. But I feel like Tom Brady is more a product of Bill Belichick than it was that Bill Belichick won because of Tom Brady. Bill Belichick still won 11 games with Matt Castle. I forget how many he won with Jimmy Garoppolo, and he won with Jacoby Brissett. He got all those people paid. And when I look at those games and in those scenarios, I just say to myself, what is we supposed to get out of Tom Brady? Even with Peyton Manning, you saw the declines piece by piece. In the first year that he came in, he lit them up because they had everything in place already. They ran the ball, they had receivers, and they could just throw it. Then some parts of that messed up, and that dude was horrible. They didn't even win a Super Bowl because of him. They won because of a defense and a run game. So yeah, I don't see it happening. It better not happen, and it should not happen.
Yeah, Tom Brady's the GOAT. He is the GOAT. And look, if he moves on from the New England Patriots, he's probably going to follow his offensive coordinator if he moves on. And that you got to understand, he's 42 years old. He probably doesn't want to get into a new system. So he would go into a system that he already knows. I'd watch where their offensive coordinator goes. So I'm not worried about the Chicago Bears. I know some people say, oh, worried about the Bears. I don't see that happening. Technical Jeff, actually, I was talking to TA about this right before the show. If we trade with Miami, would you take Rosen, be the deal? Yeah, man, I think that would be logical as well. Rosen, he would be a third year, extremely cheap. You got to look at cheap price. And Rosen being a young guy, I think that would be a fairly decent backup if they wanted to go the cheap route. He'd still be on his, surprisingly, I think he's on his rookie deal still. He'd be his third team. But yeah, man, I think that would be a fairly decent backup to have. You know, obviously it didn't work out in Miami and as well as Arizona, but you're looking at a backup. And so, and this brings us to the backup situation. I had a debate with other people, and I got in a fairly, I want to say argument, but my explanation is why pay for an expensive backup quarterback when, to me, the best way to cover that position is having an extremely well running game and an offensive defensive line. Because if you can run the football, stop the run, then if you have a backup quarterback in there, predominantly they can win football games. If you look a lot of backups in there, that's what they have. And people explain to me that, you know, you got to pay big money to get the big backup quarterback. Luke, what is your thoughts on a backup quarterback situation? Should we pay big, you know, get a Case Keenum or a Nick Foles, or build through the trenches and a run game? What's your thoughts on this?
Running the ball, building the trenches, playing defense. I mean, pay big money for what? For a backup to come in and do what? Like, let's be honest, our backups came in and did enough to win the game. Offense wasn't the problem. So now the question becomes, what do we need another backup for? The backups have shown that they're more than capable.
Yeah,
so now,
I like Driscoll.
I mean, skip Driscoll. Let's go to the third string guy. Let's go to David Blau. I mean, let's be honest. They did enough to win games. What are we gonna go out and pay a backup big money for? To do what?
Chew up cap space.
And my thing is, if he's not going to, I put it this way: if that's the way people are thinking, if that's the way that people are viewing this and saying we got to pay more, we got to get a better backup, then I just remind you, keep in mind that we still have yet to see what this team is going to be great without Stafford. We haven't won a game since he's been out. Everybody who wanted Stafford gone and wanted to see what it was like life without him, here you go. Hope you like it. Hope you feel good about it. You enjoying it. Because what this is showing me is that no matter how much we want to overlook this, it's just going to boil down to the same thing. The Lions don't have a backup quarterback problem. And if they do, they're still in line with everybody else in the NFL. Nobody goes out to spend top dollar on a backup that's not going to eventually be the starter. You think they went and got Teddy Bridgewater to just be a backup? No, he's going to eventually be a starter. They're not paying Robert Griffin top dollar to be the backup to Lamar Jackson. Let's think for a second, people, and use our brains, for real.
Man, folks, we just have a new member that joined the roundtable right now. Next is the man who does not get frostbite, but he bites frost. What up, though, TA, Noble Sports?
What's up, baby? What's going on, y'all?
All right, man. I know you're itching to speak.
Up, fellas?
Speak.
Yes, I was just listening to y'all. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I'm talking about the backup quarterback situation, and I was talking.
We don't got one.
Josh Rosen, and that's what I was saying. I was saying we don't need to get an expensive backup guy in there. I think Josh Rosen, that would be an ideal spot.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad, Josh Rosen.
No,
I wouldn't touch Josh Rosen.
Hey, why is that, Luke?
Okay, here's my thing.
He's trash.
Here's my thing. I wasn't sold on Josh Rosen coming out of college, but Josh Rosen right now, if you bring him here, he's essentially Joey Harrington. Joey Harrington was drafted high. They didn't believe in him. They moved him on. He goes to a new team. I believe it was the Dolphins. His head coach quits mid-season before he even get a chance to have his fighting chance. Now, he gets moved on from there and go to the Falcons. That head coach quits. So
yeah, I just don't believe that Josh Rosen is a good
quarterback.
Right.
He's not.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for a backup. Cheap backup.
I'd rather have Jeff Driscoll. I'd rather have David Blau.
I like Jeff Driscoll.
David Blau. Okay, so you guys would rather keep Driscoll and Blau back there.
Yeah.
Either one. Like, what do we need
as the backup? As the backup.
Yeah, what do we need Rosen for? Like,
right. What is he coming in to do? If he's not coming in to fully replace the starting quarterback that we have when he's gone, what do you bring him here for?
I mean, I guess you bring him in a package deal.
Okay, so you're gonna bring him in a package deal and do what? Be stuck with his contract and let him walk at the end of the year anyway. Ain't nobody got time for that. Like, come on, man. What are we supposed to do with him? You've been traded for a quarterback that you couldn't even trade away.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
So, J-Mo, you said no to Rosen.
Yeah, man, I said Rosen was going to be trash from day one. Glad to be right about this one. I thought Rosen was like, I said he's arrogant and he can throw, but I don't like his mechanics. I don't like his toughness, and he throws too many picks. I knew he wasn't going to be a good quarterback. And to me, the fact that he went to Miami and didn't see is alarming to me because Miami basically, they gave him a shot.
They gave him an opportunity, and he ended up losing his starting spot again.
I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick out here throwing 6 picks a game, and they're like, all right, man, we got to put Rosen in. And Rosen is so worse than Fitzpatrick. They're like, well, Fitzpatrick, you might throw 6 picks, but at least you'll give us 4 touchdowns. Like,
right.
The dude, he's not it. I'm not wasting my time.
No.
Rosens are red, Lions are blue. With the backup situation for Detroit, Luke and J-Mo says, hell no.
Nope. No. It's a no for me.
Hey, so would you guys take Marcus Mariota?
Hey, Mike, hang up on TA.
I actually,
Hey, what's wrong with Mariota as a backup?
Hey, hang up OTA, bro.
Hey, what you saying, Luke? I've been drinking the Kool-Aid on.
What you talking about, bro?
I've been going for a while. Let me
man, listen. I'm not touching Mariota.
No, we don't have a backup quarterback problem. Why y'all trying to get a new backup quarterback?
We just talking mess, man.
We're talking about this because this is the big issues. I explained how I talked about this in the beginning. I had a discussion, an argument, saying that we don't need to get an expensive quarterback with another individual. And my saying was no need to pay for an expensive quarterback when if you have a good offensive defensive line and run the football, you don't need to do that. You can get a cheap guy. And my argument was saying, let's debate that and explain our views and why we think that this would be the reason to go instead of buying a expensive quarterback.
My whole thing is we don't need a backup quarterback. We are good. We literally saw, of course, David Blau's a rookie, so yeah, he's gonna throw some picks in.
Right.
We saw David Blau and Jeff Driscoll basically ball out, and defense lost the game just like they did with Stafford. See, that's why the Stafford haters disappeared. Like they were gone because they watched our other quarterbacks ball out, and then the defense lose the game just like they did with Stafford, and then they were like, "Oh, I don't know what to do here."
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm looking at, and see, this is the main reason why I don't need this backup quarterback shouldn't be a thing. Darrell Bevel look like he can turn diamonds into gold. Yes, I said diamonds into gold. Yes, I said that.
Oh yeah, Bevel is the MVP.
I mean, his play call, he had Blau looking like he was a quarterback. I mean, he had Jeff Driscoll looking good. So and to me, that's the main reason why I'm not paying for a quarterback up, or I'm not concerned because I feel like whoever is back there, Darrell Bevel gonna make them look better than they are if they have to get on the field.
Right. You just want somebody back there that's going to be able to win you some football games. You know what I mean? If Stafford goes out, you know what I'm saying, they can at least win a couple games, and nobody was able to do that.
We scored like 27 points on the Cowboys and lost. Like, what you gonna do about that?
I would like to take that backup money, that money that they would spend on an expensive backup, and put it towards the defense and offensive line, and that's what I would do. I would take the cheap route. Again, if you did want to go Blau or a Driscoll, I'm not sure how much Driscoll would cost. Blau, obviously, nothing, basically. If they wanted to go that route, I'm perfectly fine with that. Mariota, when it comes to a back, I'm not sure how much you would ask for. I don't think he'll be a starter again in the NFL ever. But I think he'll be a backup.
Wasn't Mariota wasn't he a first round pick
out of Oregon? And so obviously he fell off a lot. And that's my
second overall.
Second overall, yeah. The issue though, with these quarterbacks is injuries. You got to have a different type of body if you're going to be running around and throwing the quarterback. This is why we always talk like running's great, but you got to be able to pocket pass as well. And so I think that really hurt Mariota in his stance. But yeah, man, I'm with you guys. I don't think we need to do this expensive route when it comes to backups. Take the money and get an offensive defensive line.
Yeah.
And this was my argument.
You got to get that defense better. You got to get that offensive line better.
Because you could have any quarterback back there. I mean, you could score 30 points, and with this defense, we're still going to lose. So
I'm still concerned about that, man. That's my biggest concern is about the defense. You know what I'm saying? What direction is the defense headed under, especially, when you have to bring in a new defensive coordinator.
Now, TA, bring up a great point when it comes to defense. Who would you like to see as a defensive coordinator?
I would definitely take Wade Phillips. Right now, he's available. The Rams got rid of Wade Phillips. And pretty much Wade Phillips does have I think he does use the 4-3 scheme, I believe. I would definitely go with Wade Phillips. I'm a fan of the 4-3 more so than the 3-4. Not saying that you can't do anything in the 3-4, but because you got to have the right players in the 3-4 system. But the 4-3, when the Lions played under that 4-3 system, we played so much better, man. And I thought that we were a better football team. We made a lot of plays out of that 4-3 defense.
I do like the 4-3. In my opinion, it's a better system. Luke, first off, let me address this NFL rumor. The Rams may be willing to trade Aaron Donald for a first-round pick. Folks, that's called cap hell. Remember when we talked about how the Rams were trying to buy a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
This is the net result of when you waste a lot of money because you can't pay them all. And guess what? They may have to trade Aaron Donald. And I tell you what,
Man, that's not happening.
I don't think they're gonna get rid of Aaron Donald. No way.
That rumor is about as valid as my blood pressure right now. Come on, no. Listen.
Look. I get it. I'm 100% with you. But this is what I'm trying to say. This is the net result of cap hell. You can't keep everybody.
Yeah,
and this is
but that's not even cap hell though. I just not buying that. It's not even a rumor. Go and look at the cap hit for Aaron Donald, and we'll talk about if it's a rumor or not.
Tactile Puma, that's what I'm trying to say, comes to contracts. This is the net result when you're not fiscally responsible. You talk about trading players that you should never even consider. Like when we had Calvin Johnson, Matthew Stafford, and Ndamukong Suh. That is what happens when you're in cap hell. You just can't pay everybody $1 billion. And this is what I'm trying to say when it comes to Tom Brady or any situation like that. It's very important to be fiscally responsible. So, and the Rams, look, they threw out a ton of contracts. And guess what? They're probably not going to trade him. I agree with you 100%. But guess what? Now they're freaking financially screwed anyways. And you try to win a Super Bowl. It didn't work, and now you're going to be in misery for it.
You know what I find funny, Mike? Excuse me. Where's my voice going? But listen, I find it's funny to me. You talked about you can't pay them off. They could have paid Sue. They could have paid them off.
Yes.
But what I find funny is they chose to pay Calvin.
I know.
And I had so many people who told me I was crazy, I was nuts, and I said I would have let Calvin walk, and I would have paid Sue. And everybody told me, oh, you don't lost your mind. You don't know what you're talking about. You nuts. And I'm like, receivers come a dime a dozen. I feel like every year you can find a receiver because it's that many of them. It is the one position that is very crowded.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But Calvin, that type of player, that doesn't come that often. He's a generational talent.
Yeah, he's still not more generational than Sue because we didn't win anything with him. And we seem to be doing just fine without him in terms of not having him. We've won a lot of games without him than we did with him. And I'm not knocking Calvin. It's not on nothing on Calvin. It's just the position of receivers are easy to find. They just are. Yeah. And to me, when we let Sue got that door, our defense ain't looked respectable in a long time. We had a brief snippet of it when we got Snacks Harrison. But after that, it was a snippet. That's all it was.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, to sit there and hear that statement, and I sit back and I think, God, we just can't get this right. You got to take – the generational talent was in Ndamukong Suh. That's what it was. And Calvin was a generational talent. But Ndamukong Suh's power was way more felt. Don't believe me? Go look at the Buccaneers. That's the Ndamukong Suh fact.
LA original, you're going to have to get on here with us fairly shortly. I'm sure maybe when it's Luke G doing the roundtable or mine next week, we need to get you on here. Luke, you're going to love this guy. He's extremely well-informed, not just about his team, but about the NFL. And if, again, you ain't subscribed to that guy, please do so. The guy's a beast. I've been talking to him for a long time. And, yeah, look, it's all about the finances when it comes to a business. And it just goes to show you that when it comes to people say, like, trade Matthew Stafford or this, that, and the other, you got to look at the finances and say, are they talking out their ass or are they talking legitimately? And to me, financially, it's extremely hard for me to assume looking financially that would take place because you got to look at the finances, and that's just as important as just the players as well. When it comes back to the defensive coordinator, Luke G, who do you want as a defensive coordinator?
I am refraining from any coaching questions because this level of division over this coaching staff is ridiculous. So I'm going to give you the general statement. Whoever comes here, I don't care if they are the coach for the vendors at the stadium. They need to be allowed to have free range to run their system. And I do not believe that is going to happen. Therefore, does not matter who I want them to get. What matters is if they are going to be able to come in and implement the defense that they want. That's what's going to matter. And whoever they get to do that, cool. But as it pertains to this coaching staff, nope. Apparently, go ahead.
So Luke, you're saying basically you don't want Matt Patricia to be over the defense, pretty much. That's what you're saying.
I'm saying I ain't talking about this coaching staff. I'm gonna sit back and let the fan base, the split fan base, because I don't know how this happened. We won this split over Jim Caldwell when we won this split over any other coach in the history of the Lions, but we are now. And so I'm just gonna sit back and let that marinate because people say I'm just so negative about this. So I'm just gonna let the coaching staff be what it be. It's just that when I watch this sport in 2020, I'm not gonna argue with what the history shows and what the evidence shows. And whoever they get, I'm just gonna pray that they can get us a win.
JMO, what do you think about this defensive coordinator? Who would you want? And if you don't know a specific name, what type of style of defense would you like?
Who would I want? I mean, I know a lot of Lions fans was talking about Wade Phillips. I wouldn't say I necessarily want him, but I wouldn't be mad if we got him. But I want somebody, from the 49ers staff, defensive staff, if we
Yes.
Or just somebody from a top defensive staff.
I can feel that.
The Titans defense has been good for like the last 4 years. Like the Bills defense, like just somebody from a defensive staff that has a good freaking defense. You
got to get somebody that has an aggressive defense too.
Yeah, and then when it comes to the type of defense, I want to move back to the 4-3. I never was a 3-4 guy because when you run in the 3-4, you gotta have some serious. Those three guys up there have to be some serious guys. I want to move back to the 4-3, but other than that, I want someone proven from a great defensive background.
My bad, I'm leaving at that match on the screen. Take Gus Bradley, please. With the prayer hands.
Hey, what about Dom Capers, man?
We'll take Anthony Lando.
What about Dom Capers?
I'm not objected to that. Honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be. Jesus, Lord.
There's a rumor that came out a little bit ago, and Luke G told me about this. Actually, it's about Gerard Mayo, the former Patriots player.
Yeah.
And it got me to thinking, because I'm with JMO here. I want somebody that's proven, experienced, that can command a defense. But then I was thinking, former players, you know what? That could work as well if the former player is extremely well respected when it comes to the league, because you got to look at this. I think when it comes to this team, maybe they didn't respect.
And more Patriots, man. Like, for real.
This guy, Gerard Mayo, never played with Matt Patricia or actually Bob Quinn. I don't even think with Bob Quinn.
He played for the Patriots, didn't he?
He did. He played with
the Patriots, but was he not there when?
I don't care about him being.
No, he was. He was.
I don't know more Patriots, dog. Like, listen, no more Patriots.
Can I rant, please? Can I rant? It ain't gonna even take long. Can I just rant real quick? Why do the Lions get to be the proving grounds for coaches? Why are we always the ground zero for practice for coaches? Why can't we just for once, figure out how to get somebody in here and let them just do their job? Why we can't do that? Why do we keep letting people come here and experiment with this team? Why would you go out and get a guy who is a linebacker coach and been there for 3 years to be your defensive coordinator? Why? What are you doing? What are you bringing them in to do? To do what? To learn on the job? We see what learning on the job gets you. a split fan base and lies and ticket holder letters. What are we doing? Why do we have to be ground zero for this? Why? Why every time a coach comes and they need time to get their coach loans together, it's here?
Facts.
Rob Marinelli, Jim Schwartz. Why are we the proving ground for this kind of experiment? You can't go to no other team and experiment but the Lions. Why?
I actually think Jim Schwartz was the perfect coach for the perfect time. I think he actually brought us to relevancy.
His defense was aggressive too, man. It was really
you know
aggressive.
what? He got a lot of flack, but I think he really brought Detroit back to relevancy, and I thought he was the perfect coach for the perfect timing. Obviously, when he got let go, I thought that was correct. But when it comes
isn't Schwartz the defensive coordinator for the Bills?
He's for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think he's interviewing for the Cleveland Browns at this point as well.
Okay.
Listen, Jim Schwartz did some things for the Lions. And his biggest mistakes were the same mistakes that you're seeing with most of these coaches. And I'm not even talking about just the Lions. It's most of these coaches, but we seem to be the proving ground. They hire their buddies and don't know how to let them go. You know, it's like the kid that you know is too old to still be walking around with a blanket or a stuffed animal, and you got to figure out how to make it nasty enough for them to put it down. That's what it is. You're hiring people who just want to give other people opportunity. No, hire proven products. Hire them. Let them have the power to do what they need to do.
Hey, I totally get it. I'm with you there. I just think it is intriguing. I'm not saying that this is what I want, to have a former player that's completely respected. I'm not even saying just Rodman. I'm just saying anyone. If you look out some of the teams in the NFL, they've hired former players to be a coordinator. Obviously, Dallas with their offensive coordinator, our former quarterback. If you look at Tampa Bay Buccaneers, when they got their offensive coordinator as the former player as well, and you see that with other teams. And I think it's intriguing when it comes to the idea of if you're respected in the league, very much respected. I think players immediately respect you for that. When I was in the Army, the equivalent would be if you become a CO compared to an NCO. Now, an NCO is a non-commissioned officer, and you got to start from the bottom up. When it comes to a commissioned officer, a lieutenant, you can basically be green as hell into basic training in becoming an individual who commands a whole platoon. And a lot of people don't respect the lieutenants because they're green as hell, but they respect the individuals in the NCO that work their way up there. And I think that can understand the point of view doing a former player to where players respect the individual. And so maybe they work a little extra harder. Not saying that's what's going to take place, anything like that, but I do understand the idea, and it's intriguing to me for former players if they have the skill set. Obviously, not all former players are like that. I mean, you can have great players that are terrible coordinators.
You know what's funny, Mike? Who likes the Bucks on this panel? Me. Ain't that funny? Yeah. I always pick bottom feeding teams. You know what I noticed with Byron Leftwich versus what we're talking about doing with Gerard Mayo? Byron Leftwich actually went through the channels. He had years upon years, and even still, Bruce Arians is managing his play calling. He just not. Why do you think Byron Leftwich is drawing up game plans for the Bucks that result in a quarterback getting 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions? No, he's not doing that. He's being coached to be able to be a better coordinator and to be the next head coach for a team when Bruce Arians leaves. Who finna coach up Gerard Mayo on the Lions?
Yeah, he might have a couple. He might have some skills, Luke, to get it done. You never know.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He might have skills. You're right. He played 8 years in the league. He played 8 years in the league and been 3 years a linebacker coach. Yeah. Hey, why don't you do the same thing the Giants did? Take a receiver coach and make him a head coach.
I was just about to say that.
What about Mike
Brady?
Brady?
Can I make a wide receivers coach? Like, are they're so stupid.
Hey, fellas, can I make a phone call to Ed Reed and also Mr. Lewis to see if I can get them to play defensive coordinator?
Right. Let's go. Let's start there. Let's start there. What
You
At
the
least I know
hell?
them
I
guys
think
gonna
we should
break
get
it.
R2 Spinner, man. Make him
Now,
our
R2
defensive.
Spinner.
You know what? You know what? Better
Hey,
yet,
bring back Grover Quinn, man. He can
right,
run the
no,
defense.
Bring Barry Sanders back. The running backs are totally learn how to juke and cut and spin like him. It's just ridiculous.
I think there's positives to it. I think Mike Vrabel, he's done really well this year. Given the he took the Titans to the playoffs. So I think there's good and there's bad for each situation, but I'm more in the camp of just get someone experienced that's done it before, that's won it before. If you look at what we did with Darrell Bevel, that worked out really good, extremely good, and I think we should do it the same way with the defense.
Right.
How many years? What? Okay, let me make sure I get this question right.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Vrabel was a positions coach and an assistant defensive coordinator. So how many years was he coaching before he became a head coach?
That was his first coaching job.
Was it like 3?
How many years was he coaching before he became the head coach, though?
Was it like 3 or 4?
All right, so let's say it's 3 or 4 years, right?
Yeah.
And he comes to a team as a head coach where they basically just gave him the keys to do what he wants. And the first thing he said is, I'm going to go out and get Ryan Tannehill. I know y'all like Mariota here in Tennessee, but guess what? He all right, but he's not real. And what do? They go off to the playoffs. We're not bringing a guy in to take over and make those kind of decisions. We're going to bring a guy in and tell him to make calls on the defense. And he's no threat to the position to be the next head coach for this team. So, again, why would we bring this dude in? The person who come in needs to be able to threaten the position for head coach.
Wow.
Otherwise, we're just wasting trouble. Because essentially what's going to end up happening is you're going to run into a situation where if things don't go a certain way, now we're back to square one again. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, again, I like the idea of giving a proven winner. I think that's just best way to go. And also with JMO's idea, someone from San Francisco 49ers. They're doing great on defense. I think that's the best way to go. But I am intrigued. I understand why people would want that, and I understand their side of things for sure when it comes to that. Okay, so what can the Lions do to go from first or worst to first TA?
Man, the Lions got to simply do this. The Lions got to simply win, man. It ain't no FN buts about it. To go from worst to first, you got to win, man. And Patricia better have the winning ingredients. I know a lot of people wanted Patricia to come back, and then some of our fans didn't want him back. And we just got to be real with the situation. We half and half. Some want him here, some didn't want him here. But for the Detroit Lions to do anything, they're going to have to win. That is the key goal next season, coming into the season. I think if you don't win football games, you're going to have a very, very angry fan base. And I think that's something the Lions are going to have to carry into next season. They're going to have a chip on their shoulder. And definitely Patricia better get it done or he's going to be out of here.
JMO, how can we go from worst to first?
Same thing I've been saying for the last 10 years. Protect Matthew Stafford. We say the same thing every year because it's a freaking simple formula. Protect Matthew Stafford, run the football, and play defense.
Right.
It's that simple.
Right.
So you mean to tell me it's not complex? Oh.
That's all you got to do. If you protect Stafford, you run the football and play defense.
Yeah.
In the playoffs with a playoff win, with a home playoff game. It's that simple. But the Lions ain't been able to do that for 50 years.
And hey, Jemo, just to piggyback off that just a little bit. And we got to be able to get our tight ends. We got to use our tight ends, man. We need to learn how to utilize these weapons on our team.
To me, it's just as simple as protect Stafford, you'll be fine. Because
right.
Every game that we won, Stafford didn't get sacked in. Now, I'm not saying he don't have to not get sacked for us to win, but that's kind of alarming. When Stafford didn't get sacked, we won games. And that was without a running game in the defense.
Mm-hmm.
So you do that, get your running game and your defense. If you get a running game, then you can go to tight ends over the middle.
Right.
Like, to me, this defense really pissed me off this year.
I was very angry,
the
man. I
the
didn't even
running
want to talk. I
game.
didn't even want to talk anymore.
Yeah, the
I was
running
very
game.
angry.
I'm not really surprised. I've been used to that. But this defense, man, like, bruh, play some defense, please.
Luke, how do we go from worst to first?
I was gonna give a real cynical answer, but the truth is this: the only way we're gonna ever go from worst to first, and I don't care what year it is, last year, this year, the year before that, is people got to be uncomfortable, flat out.
Yeah.
All this trying to pick nice guys ain't working.
That ain't working.
It's a reason why they say nice guys finish last. Okay, this ain't working. People got to be uncomfortable. If your head coach is a jerk and the results are coming out of the players, deal, take it. If your head coach is a people person and the results are coming out, deal, take it. But somehow, some way, people gonna have to be uncomfortable. And what I mean by that is, all these church boys you want to hire, I need somebody with a knife in the pocket. I can't take it no more. All right, all these choir boys who out here, they're just so nice, and they ain't got no tattoos, and they just so peachy. Hey,
ain't got no missing tooth.
No, they got a dental plan and everything. You feel me? I
Right.
need the guy who don't really care, and I need for people to be uncomfortable with it. But guess what? We can't, because all we gonna do is the same thing we did to the one guy we had in the Sioux, and call him a dirty player and call him a bum. And nobody has done more dirt than Myles Garrett, but all I hear about is how great he is. This is crazy to me. You want us to go from last to first?
Yeah.
Get uncomfortable. That includes fans, ownership, coaches, everybody to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because it's about the person who's coming in to not give you the same status quo, to give you something different. That's what I believe will get us from
Right.
last to
I
first.
need the type of coach that now I know most of us think Slay is gone. Maybe he is. I'll believe it when I see it, because if they want to get rid of him, cool. But he said he want to stay here. We'll see that. But I need a type of coach that if Slay getting burnt, put him on the bench. That's the type of coach I need.
Yeah.
You getting burnt? Oh, you gonna ride that pine? Get better.
You don't want to play?
I need that kind of coach.
Right. Where's that? But see, they don't want that guy, because by when you bench that person, the ticket holder, it's just like the NBA. The NBA, they know what games they get the most ticket sale, and they go to the player, hey, man, we got a full house here. You're going to have to play today. No, this is not. No, get uncomfortable. I want the person to make decisions that going to make people look and be like, man, what the hell was that?
Right. If you ain't doing good, pull you out the game.
Yeah. Yep. Bruce Arians came to the Buccaneers. Buccaneers drafted Vernon Hargraves, and Hargraves was late for practice, not practice. Bruce Arians sent them home. Then the next day told him, you know what, don't even come back. And cut him. Cut him. Told Gerald McCoy.
Now that's bold right there.
You cool. I respect you. You out of here. He cutting first round picks and getting rid of players just for not being able to do their job. I need some attitude on the sideline where it's like, oh, so wait a minute, let me ask you a question. What was your assignment? Coach, he wasn't right there. I ain't asked you that. What was your assignment? But Coach, okay, have a seat. I'll talk to you on Monday if you're still here. Where's that at? Get uncomfortable, people.
What we need to do for us to win, and folks, I traveled the world to finally get us to win this coming year, to go from worst to first. It took a lot of time, a lot of searching on expeditions, but how we win is sacrifice. We must sacrifice to the football gods, and I got the sacrifice right here, folks. You see this? You see that? This is the sacrifice that I gave to the football gods for Detroit to win. Man. The sacrifice itself went all the way to Mexico just for this sacrifice. And with this sacrifice, we shall win, and that's how we're going to do it. And it will definitely help. I still got some more seances I'm going to have to do with the skull. in the helmet, but we'll get it there. This is
man.
okay for a legitimate reason for us to win. Bob Quinn has got to strike gold on every decision he makes this offseason. He can't screw this up. He can't screw it up. This is the most important offseason. It definitely
Ever.
in his ever. He's going to have to nail it.
Yeah.
He needs to build up the trenches. He needs to make sure Stafford's 100% medical, do whatever it takes when it comes to recovery, when it comes to the doctors. But Bob Quinn's got to hit free agency and strike gold there. In the NFL draft, he needs to get starters and strike gold there. He cannot afford to screw anything up. It's got to be an A+ draft, A+ free agency, and a little bit of luck for us to go from worst to first. Because guess what? The NFC North is tough. The Vikings are tough. The Packers are winning. And the Chicago Bears, they do got a good defense. I'm not sure what the situation with Trubisky is. I know they say that he's their quarterback of the future. It's hard for me to actually believe it because Trubisky is terrible. But you got to do a lot to go from 3-12-1 to win the NFC North. And everything's got to be gold striking. Picking up a defensive coordinator that can do what Darrell Bevell did to this offense, everything has got to be perfect. It has got to be perfect. Period.
Mike, I love you, but I don't see how this is a Quinn issue. I used to think that if a team just got a whole lot of good talent, that they will win in spite of all the other forces on the outside. And then I saw the Dallas Cowboys. And I was like, holy smokes. Offensive line, check. Quarterback, check. Running game and running back, check. Defense, check. What they do? First round, put out the playoffs. Okay. Had they been to an NFC championship game? No. Divisionals? No. I mean, like, I don't care who the talent is.
Yeah.
An army without a general is a bunch of fools running behind each other. Yeah. There's no plan. There's no direction. There's no real set goal. And what I've noticed is the GM can go out and hit on every single pick. He could find the next Barry Sanders, the next Joe Montana, the next Tom Brady. He could find the next Aaron Donald, Warren Sapp, Reggie White, and put them all in one draft and put them all on the same team. But if the general is not leading it, it just won't matter. And the proof has been put in the pudding. The Bengals had all the talent in the world. Geno Atkins, I mean, you name it. Marvin Jones,
AJ Green,
Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis couldn't get them over the hump for nothing. They had it all. Good teams with full of talent do not win in spite of no more. That's how much it is. So this is not a Bob Quinn issue. I do think you're right when it comes to him hitting on those things, but we got some other parts of that puzzle. And I just don't want to name because I refuse to, because I know we split. But even you know this, Mike, we would never go into a battle without a plan. As a country, why are we going to do it in sports?
Hey, just like the movie Gladiator, you got to have your general, Marcus Aurelius, and definitely need that leadership. TA, what is a move that can give you hope for this season? You've been bummed out. You've taken this season really, really hard, and a lot of people have. But what can the Lions do to give us hope this year?
The hope comes from day one, man. Hitting the ground running. You know what I'm saying? Next season, you got to hit the ground running. I was always told that talk is cheap, and you can talk all day at the pressers. You can do all this talking all you want, but the main thing is that the Lions got to do is find unity and continuity, and being able to come together as a football team. The staff being on one accord. Making sure everybody is on one accord and knowing what the task is at hand, because You know what I'm saying? We know that this team is talented. We know that there's a lot of talent on this team. You don't want to keep wasting the talent year in and year out. The biggest thing for the Lions to do is to make sure that from day one, everybody has bought in. Everybody has made the sacrifice to give themselves up for each other, playing for each other. When I look at the Baltimore Ravens and when I look at other teams, they play for each other. The coaches high-fiving the guys when they come past. Yeah, good job. That's what you need. You need somebody that's going to get these guys motivated enough to care about each other and to care about winning, because that's the only thing that really counts on Sunday. Nothing else matters. Nothing else really matters at this point right now with the Lions. You got to go in and you got to win football games. And you're going to have to beat some teams that people don't think that you'll be able to beat on Sundays. But at the same time, everybody has to be on one accord. Everybody, from just like Luke said, down from starting with the leadership, those that are in leadership, the commanders or whoever you want to call them, those that are just lead this team. You got to lead this team with pride, and you got to lead this team with one pride. You know that we want to win, but we got to go out there and do it. And I think that's the biggest thing for the Lions is to be able to play with continuity, to play on one accord, and to go out there and play some smash mouth football and win some games. I don't care if they win by 1 point, long as you get the W, because next year, that's the only thing that's going to matter. Nothing else really matters besides winning. And you got to bring that winning attitude from day one, all the way from the OTAs into the training camps, into the preseason. And then that stuff has to trickle over to the regular season, where guys are coming out and playing for each other. When I look at the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm using them as an example, I see a team that's together. I see the coaches high-fiving guys. I see the head coach talking to his quarterback saying, yeah, man, you're going to be great. That's what the players need. They need that. And I think once we get that, I think that this team will eventually start taking off. That's what I see.
I cannot drop my mic because it is attached, but I feel like TA just dropped the mic. JMO, you're next. I apologize for you having to go after TA because TA just straight up murdered that answer and some more. Holy smokes.
I've been holding that in, Mike.
Where the hell have you been for a while? Because we need that. We need that. I'm going to war now.
I'm back on the team, baby.
JMO, what move can they do to give you hope?
Win some football game. Like, that's all I can say. It's not a move. I'm about action. Go out on the field and win some games. That'll make me feel better. It's not really that deep. It's like, I don't care they draft Chase Young. I don't care who they get in free agency. It's not gonna matter unless you go out on the field and win some football. Simple as that.
Luke, what move can they do to give you hope? I don't want to hear the answer.
That's a loaded question, but here's the move that they can do to give me hope. It is, but but here's the move that they can do to give me hope for 2020 is just run the ball. That's all I want to see. Please, just run the ball. I'm not asking for much. All I want for Christmas, New Year's, Happy Hanukkah, everything, Kwanzaa, whatever, is to run the ball.
Run it.
Just run the ball. You want to give me hope? Run the ball and actually use your tight ends. Did you know Travis Kelce had 97 receptions for 1,200 and I believe 29 yards?
Another big season from Kelce.
He was the leading receiver. Why are we not figuring this out that you have to run the ball and play through the tight end so they come up so you can dot them up over the top? You know what? I'm not that person. You want me to have hope? Run the ball.
Yep.
Show me that you're going to run the ball. Commit to a run. Actually find a way to make it more effective. I don't even want a commitment no more because you're not going to do that. It's amazing to me. I watched the Tennessee Titans game, and I'm thinking to myself, 34 carries, huh?
Yep. Hey, Luke, I was thinking about you too. You know what I was thinking
30,
about?
34 carries.
The run game in the postseason. Nobody's hardly throwing the ball. They running.
They running it.
They running the ball, Luke.
With game manager. They got the quarterback game manager. That's why everybody all hyped up on the Ravens. Y'all better pray to God Mark Ingram play.
Yeah. You need Mark Ingram.
It's going to get real.
Yeah, you need Mark Ingram, no doubt.
So to give me hope, run the ball.
Yep.
Me, running obviously there. But when it comes to personnel, go insane, bold, and get pass rushers. Get this defensive line to be dominant. If you want to win, get the best damn players that can rush the passer and stop the run, and that will give me hope. I want to see legit drafting when it comes to pass rush. I want to see legit free agent push. And if you can get a Jadeveon Clowney, or if you can get an individual that can rush the passer, just naming into people that can get to the quarterback, that's what you need to do. We need to have pass rush. If they go buck wild on pass rush, that will give me insane amount of hope that this team can win and win fast. I feel like our secondary is good. I think it will get better. I do like the idea of Isaiah Simmons. Mm-hmm. I think that we're going to get even more help when it comes to that safety position this offseason. And with pass rush, with extreme pass rush, this talented secondary will get turnovers, and that's how you win games. Go balls to the wall when it comes to pass rush, and that will give me extreme amount of hope. If that requires doubling down in the draft, going defensive tackle like Derek Brown with that third pick or whatever pick we eventually have, and then go defensive end with the second round, I don't care. Get pass rush. Get it. Get big in the ugly. You win in the trenches. Get giant.
Mike, do you see the regular analytics? His questions, he says, should the LA Chargers draft Tua if available or get O-line? He says, do you guys preview other NFL mock drafts? We preview other NFL mock drafts as it pertains to the Detroit Lions, if that's what you're asking. But in my opinion, if I'm the Chargers, I'm not touching Tua. I'm terrified of the hip thing. And if I'm them, I'm building a lineup this year. So next year, if I suck bad enough, I might be in the sweepstakes for getting a good quarterback. But I don't know if Tua's the answer. I would almost think they would be better served bringing in a veteran or picking up, say, somebody like Jake Fromm if you're going to let him sit and learn.
Hey, you can't forget about the other quarterback. The other quarterback that I've been watching him for the last couple of weeks, and this guy's pretty good. Jacob Eason, I'm liking him.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. To me, the Chargers options are open. So
yeah, they get quarterback ain't gonna be no problem, Luke.
Yeah, so even though we're not talking like we don't generally talk all the other ones, we really talk Lions football. To answer your question, because I've never seen you in the chat, I would do that. But I don't think they should. And he says, what position should the New York Giants pick? The number 4 pick, wide receiver, O-line, or edge? It's going to be. It's going to more than likely, in my opinion, be. I don't think it's gonna be none of those positions. To be honest with you, I think it's gonna be D tackle.
Hey, is Sam Ehlinger coming out? Do you guys know if he's coming out or not?
Ehlinger, I'm trying to think.
The quarterback from Texas, number 11.
I don't know if he announced it or not. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't hear him announce it, but I know that he's pretty good too. Sam Ehlinger.
I'm a Texas fan, but I can't remember if he was a sophomore or a junior or a senior. I can't remember what he was.
I can't remember. I was trying to figure, was he coming in the draft this season?
So when it comes to the Chargers, should they take Tua? See, this is the bad part when it comes to drafting individuals that's had an injury history. It's not just his hip. He's had ankles as well, surgery there. I say, why the hell not? I'm going to gamble. I would draft Tua. Go ahead and do it. Why the hell not? Take that chance. If he ends up staying healthy, I think he could be very explosive this year. And like kind of look at the Arizona Cardinals when they took Kyler Murray. I thought, go ahead, do it, man. Get rid of Rosen, take this guy. The difference here is this guy's injured a lot. He's been injured. I think that's something that they need to look at. Maybe they go Herbert, but take the quarterback. Go ahead and do it. When it comes to the Giants, man, you can never get enough offensive line. I think that's always a good route to go. And if they wanted to get that wide receiver from Alabama, if they wanted to get that wide receiver, hell yeah,
Jerry, you talking about Jerry?
Yeah, yep. Give your young quarterback another weapon, having Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, Jerry
and
Jeudy, yeah.
They would have Jerry Jeudy as well as still Golden Tate and one hell of a running back. Man, that would be really good for them as well. I think they could go either of those route.
Mm-hmm.
If you're wanting to protect the quarterback, though, take the offensive lineman, especially I think Andrew Thomas if he is there. Why not do it, man? Get the best.
Yeah, they probably take another receiver. That's something too. The Giants might take a receiver.
Yeah,
I got them taking a D tackle. And to be honest with you, another way to spin it, you will hope in the case of the Lions, you will hope that the Giants or the Chargers, you will hope that the Chargers want to and is willing to trade up, and you will hope that the Giants is interested in an offensive lineman, because then that leaves more room for the option of trading up. So to me, I don't see those things happen, but I think Derek Brown's going to be the next Giant because they D-line is horrible, like terrible.
So you saying Brown might go to the Giants?
Man, they gonna try to rebuild up that defense, and they'll get the offensive players in free agency.
Now, JoJo Burns says, is there a running back in this class y'all would grab early, a big, strong downhill runner? Are you talking first round or second round?
Yeah, it's a few of them grab. Yeah, Dobbins. I like Dobbins, and I like Taylor. I like Taylor too.
Taylor, I think is cool. I think he's more that downhill guy. But J.K. Dobbins got the downhill with speed. So
it's another guy that I like that's on Arizona State. Eno Benjamin. I like him too as well.
Me, I'm not going to draft a quarter or a running back, early in this draft. I'm going to go with Bo Scarborough as well as Kerryon Johnson. There's individuals that can
you're starting that stuff again, Mike. There you go.
Let me finish.
Remember what I told you?
I'm not saying he's the number one guy. I'm saying have Bo Scarborough, Kerryon Johnson, and pick up a running back in free agency. When you want to go to the Tennessee Titans, I love the running back. Man, I think he would be a fantastic fit when it comes to Detroit.
He ain't going nowhere. He gonna get a contract, and he's not anything outside of Tennessee would be a mistake for him. Derek Henry ain't going nowhere.
I'm not going to draft. I'm not going to draft a running back in the first round or the second round. That's what I'm trying to say here. I don't think it's necessary. I think you can look, man. We got Bo Scarborough out of nowhere. He's doing well. I think you can find good running backs.
Hey, but this is my biggest concern, though, fellas. What are we going to do with Kerryon? I'm still kind of baffled. I know they're probably going to bring him back for next season, but are you guys kind of leery about his injury history or what?
I am. I'm worried about his injury.
I'm very worried about his injury history.
I was worried about Kerryon when we drafted him, and I did not understand why we traded for him. I like his game. I really do.
Yeah.
But I was hoping that he can not be Javid Best 2.0 and stay healthy, and that's not been proven.
Right.
Regular analyst says Melvin Gordon to the Lions with a question mark.
No.
I like Kareem Hunt better. I would love to get Kareem Hunt.
No Kareem Hunt, no Melvin Gordon, no. Listen, people. Listen, you could bring in Bo Jackson, Jim Brown, Michael Jackson. I don't care. We're running dive plays.
You said we're not gonna put them in their best position.
Now, see, right. I'm gonna challenge this in a quick while you say your point. And then I'm gonna challenge your point. So go ahead and talk about the dive play.
My thing is this: we're running dive plays, and the last few weeks where they started running outside and doing things different, lo and behold, we started getting the production when they went back to the zone run where they let the running back pick and bounce it out. We're not utilizing. You know what? These all come back to the same person, but we're not utilizing the talent right. And
you still don't think we're going to use them right next year?
Why would I?
Now here's where I'm going to change this a little bit. I do think we need to bolster the offensive line, specifically guard for sure. Yeah. But as I watched Bo Scarborough, he did much better in the running game than what was happening in the first half of the season. He was running hard. He was running through people. And I'm going to, look,
he's a north and south runner.
He's a north and south guy. I think that our running game is going to be better when you have an individual like him in there, because he was doing really well.
Yeah,
he was dropping what was like 5.1 yards a carry and for a lot of that. So I think Henry to the lines. I do like Henry, but I think that our running game will get better. And it's going to, as long as Bo Scarborough is back there or back with his mentality. I think you got to go that route and go blue collar running back. Not, we're going to go all to the left. Oh, we're going to do a swing. No, just run north and south, punch you in the mouth. The Lions' run game could be good enough if they stuck to that philosophy.
Right. I'm with you.
I'm with you on that.
But where are those guards at?
Yeah.
And then that comes to Graham Glasgow. I don't know if he's going to be a Detroit Lion. I think he's going to be gone in free agency. And you're definitely going to have to beef up that offensive line even more.
You got to get beef. You got to get beef on that offensive line.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So do we keep Graham Glasgow? What do y'all think about him?
They're going to have to.
They only got probably Graham Glasgow money, so I don't know.
No, they
don't know if they can afford anybody else.
They got bread, but
they got like 50, right?
The thing with Glasgow is he can play multiple positions outside of he can play guard and center.
Yeah.
And what you're going to see is a situation where what are the options that's going to be better than him?
Yeah, I'm with you there because he's versatile. He can play guard and center. And I think that's, man, it's hard to get an individual like that in this free agency.
Yeah.
I don't see much of an upgrade. And when it comes to the NFL draft, I think if they go guard in the second or third round, I would be okay with that. I think that'd be great. And that could help. But man, I do like Graham Glasgow's versatility. I do. And depending on what the type of contract he wants, I would try to re-sign him. I would.
Yeah, Brian Smith in the comment section, he says we should keep we should keep Glasgow and dump Rick Wagner.
And that's another reason why I think they're going to have to keep him, because they got to get their money in return. But
I feel like we need so much. I don't know what to say. It's like we need everything.
Man, no, you don't. Sometimes you just need one thing. And it'll be all right. The New England Patriots is going to move on from a certain person. The Saints is going to get ready to move on from a certain person, and they're going to be on track to getting right back on. They may have a slight down year, but they will be right back on track the next year as they bring that person up to speed. You don't need all that stuff sometimes. Sometimes you just need a bunch of guys who want to play the sport. That's what the 04 Pistons was. There wasn't no superstars. It was just a bunch of guys who want to play.
A bunch of guys that wanted to play, and worked hard. The Pistons teams was always made like that too. You're right about that.
Marcus Will says, DSA, would you be upset if Detroit selected a tackle at 3?
I'll answer for everybody. Yep. Hell yes. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. What else you want? Yes.
Mark, we'll be mad, man. We're gonna be mad, Mark.
What is yes in French? Yes in Spanish.
Oui.
What's that? Hola. I don't even know what is yes
in Spanish.
Yes, see. In German. Whatever. Yes. Yes, I'm gonna be highly upset.
If they took a right tackle at 3, I'm gonna punch a hole in a wall. I would be extremely angry. If they took a left tackle, I'm not going to be that angry at punching the hole in the wall, but I'm not going to be happy about it.
Hey,
I
we got to.
I would not be happy about it. It would be, man, are you effing kidding me? Come on now. I think we need to go defense with that third pick. And
Yeah.
again, if you're wanting to go defensive tackle,
I want all dogs.
defensive end, or safety, hybrid. But if we go offensive tackle, I would not be happy.
I
would
want all dogs, man.
Yeah.
I want all dogs. Hey, Mike, I'm gonna be out there with a sign that says "Only dogs allowed." You know what I mean?
Yep.
If you're not a dog, then don't come this way, because we don't want no mutts.
Yeah, I wouldn't be happy if Andrew Thomas would be the pick, but I wouldn't be to the point where I would punch a hole in the wall. I think I would understand it. You know, getting a tackle, I would not be happy with it, but I just feel they have to go defense, man. They gotta go defense.
And it gotta be an impact player, man. It gotta be somebody that's gonna impact the team. You know what I'm saying? If you're drafting that high, you want somebody that's gonna come in that you can plug in right away that can make some type of impact on this team.
Listen, say it with me, everybody. Just say it with me. The first round pick needs to be on the team, or you get the hose. Now you got to be an old person to understand that Silence of the Lambs reference, but I'm just telling you that if you draft a person in the first round, they need to be on the field. Period.
Yeah, and Troy, and this is I'll answer this one, Troy. Take Judy in the combine. Numbers are good if we don't trade down. No. The reason I say we don't take a wide receiver, the reason I say this is he's not going to be on the field all the time. You got Marvin Jones,
and you got to extend. You're going to have to extend Galladay.
If we look what we did with T.J. Hawkinson, we did not use him enough. We need, with this third pick, we need a guy that's going to be on the field 98% of the snaps, and every down guy constantly. If you get a wide receiver, that's not going to be the case. He's not going to be on there every down. It'd probably be 35, 40% of the snaps. That's not good enough. And our offense can move. We can move the ball. That's why we got TJ. That's why we got Jesse James. Throw them the ball. These guys are in there. We don't need another wide receiver when you got these guys in the team. And that's the reason why I say no wide receiver. That's
Marvin. What Marvin Jones had 9 touchdowns this year, and Kenny Galladay led the league with 11. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So you cool at the receiver. It's just being able to, like you said, like Luke said earlier, run that ball.
And this receiver class in the draft is extremely awesome. Deeper than deep.
Deeper than a $4 prostitute. Tell the truth.
3 Alabama wide receivers may go in the first round alone. Think about that. The potential of a good wide receiver, if you're wanting to do that in the second, third round, you're going to get a good one. If you want to go that route, that's still not the route I want to go, but it's so damn deep. I just would not want to take one at that pick.
I feel you. Listen, I just look at it from this standpoint. I've said it once and I'll say it twice. Receivers are not hard to find. Did y'all forget we got Marvin Hall?
Yeah,
he came out of nowhere.
Yeah, he was catching them deep balls like crazy.
He was balling, man.
And
you got it. That's pretty much Amendola's replacement, right, guys?
I don't think so. I think Marvin Hall
eventually.
They're gonna bring Amendola back on a contract, and I'm just gonna sit back and listen to the split sides talk.
But Amendola, I gotta say, he did have a good season, man.
He did great.
I gotta give him his props.
If they re-sign him to another year, I'd be fine with that. I think he's a good.
If they re-sign him to another year, don't worry about seeing the tight ends.
I think he'd be okay for the number 3 when it comes to that. Marvin Hall, he's a deep guy. He's the guy who would go with the deep pass. So if they decide to basically stay with the same wide receiver group, I'm not going to complain at all. I'm not going to complain. And Amendola did really good. Is it consistently? Is he going to be good next year? Don't know. I mean, I have no idea, but it just depends on the type of contract that he's going to want. We don't know. We have no idea. But I feel like he's earned another year when it comes to Danny Amendola. I thought he did fairly well.
Yeah, he did. He did well for what he had to do out there. He did his thing.
Listen, all I want for Christmas is for us to utilize our best weapons. And if that best weapon be a slot receiver to tight end, then use them.
Yeah.
But can we not draft another person and just let them just waste away? It's like
Right.
it's like buying a really good it's like buying some really good apples or oranges or some watermelon or some grapes. You just let it
Yeah.
just sit there and rot.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why? You can make wine and so many other things with these items.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like the Lions should be on one of those commercials where it's like, don't waste water. It's like, don't waste players.
Right.
That's what I
Don't
feel like
waste
they should be doing
don't waste
because
their talent.
we're not using them, man. And I'm just sick of it.
Yeah, I hate that too, man. We don't utilize the weapons that we have. And then when you look at other teams and how they utilize their players, it's like, man, I wish we was doing that, but we're not doing it.
Yeah.
Now, I see Nathaniel Schaefer says, I'm down to bring Danny back for another year, 4.5 million. He got 6 million to play this year. You think he can take a pay cut after this season?
He probably gonna want 6 again or 5 at least.
Yeah, right. You're going to come correct or let me walk. I've established myself.
He like, and I had a big season too. Come on now.
Yeah, I think, and I wouldn't be upset about that either. I think, to me, he's earned another year, just depending on the contract. Now, if he's wanting something insane, hell no. But if he wants a fair deal, I see no problem with that. And because we're going to have to give also Kenny Galladay a monster ass contract this offseason. And so if they go 4 again, I mean, the offense went fairly well. When it comes to the wide receiver groups, was the best group in the Lions this whole year. I mean, they did hella good. I mean, these guys were doing explosive numbers even when Stafford was out. They're still doing well. So that's why I don't want a wide receiver. I want to go defense, defensive line. You win in the NFL through the trenches. I want to see them beef the trenches, period. And that's the way to go.
Yeah.
With that said, folks, we're closing in on 2 hours. And we got works to do tomorrow. We all got lives. So I want to do the last minute talk to the folks. Luke, what do you got to say to the folks?
Man, first of all, let me just, listen, I'm happy Mike is back. He went on his trip. He got there safe. He had fun. He relaxed. He came home safe. So, hey, that's always a good thing. Like I said, I want to hear from you, not about you. The biggest thing I want to do is I want to end it on a positive note as always and say this. In this world, there are 2 types of people. There are those who are guppies and those who are sharks. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, what's the point of this whole reference of a shark and a guppy? If you look at sharks do not stop moving. They don't. You know why? Because the moment they stop, they die. You need to be the shark. Keep moving. Keep moving forward. Keep moving past every obstacle that be placed in front of you. If the job don't want to give you a promotion, move on from it. Be the shark. Keep moving. Keep motion. If you can do that, it's going to be in that moment that you are going to be at your best self to get yourself the best results to live your best life. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you subscribe to all the members of the DSA and don't be no chump. Please make sure you do your research.
TA, what do you got to say, man?
Man, we sorry about that, guys, but man, guys, we appreciate everybody rocking out with us on tonight. My first time coming back in a minute. I've been really disappointed with the Lions and how things were going. Had to take a hiatus, guys, and things of that nature, and had some family issues that I had to be able to conquer some of those demons as well. But at the same time, guys, we're back. We're doing our thing, and definitely, man, make sure you subscribe to the DSA and do not miss the episode, guys. We'll be back on Tuesday. It'll be on Luke G's channel. So definitely, guys, make sure you guys stay tuned. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the draft and get you guys, get your mouth watering. We're not going to gas you guys up or anything. We're just going to give you our opinion on what we think the Lions could possibly do. We could be wrong, just like we were wrong about the season. So we got to apologize to you guys. We thought that the Lions would be a lot better than what they were, and they were not. They did not meet those expectations. So hopefully this season, guys, the Lions will meet everybody's expectation and just go out and win football games.
Oh man, folks, it was great to come back talk Detroit Lions. Luke and TA were getting on my case when I was in Florida. You better not talk Detroit Lions and focus on the trip. Every single day I wanted to talk Detroit Lions. There's actually a bunch of Lions fans on the cruise, and I had no reception with my cell phone. It's completely turned off. So every time I seen a Lions fan, I said, "What's going on, man? What's going on? What took place?" So it is awesome to be back, and I feel refreshed. I'm super excited for this off season. Absolutely excited to get this bad boy going for free agency in the NFL draft to see the future of the franchise. Even though we had a bad year, guess what? It's over. It's over. There's going to be a lot of other teams that is going to be in the same boat because guess what? There's only one winner and another individual team that will be in the Super Bowl. And so let's move away from the bad, put a smile on our face, and focus on the future. This team. With that said, folks, I'm going to leave you with the greatest words of all time. Adios.
Hey, thanks, Marcus.